Listen, if your brand and your content is all over the place, one day you're super polished, the next day you're posting blurry memes with typos, we gotta fix that. Your content is the first thing people notice about your business. And if it's not clear, consistent, and valuable, you're leaving money on the table. So today we're breaking down exactly how to build a standout brand with content. Because throwing random posts out there and hoping for the best is not a strategy. So if you are serious about leveling up your brand and your content, tap that like button and let's get into it. Number 1, why your content is your brand's first impression. All right, let's start with the facts. Your content is selling for you before you even speak to a potential customer or client. And the real question is, what is it that you're saying? If your content looks inconsistent, low quality, or confusing, people won't take you seriously. Think about your own habits. You wouldn't buy from a brand with a messy website, cringy posts, or videos that look like a 3-year-old recorded it. Your audience is the same way. The key takeaway is that your content builds trust, authority, and makes your brand more recognizable. And when it's strong, you stand out. When it's weak, you disappear in a sea of other content. Number 2, what makes content stand out? To create content that actually works, focus on these 3 things. Number 1, clarity. What do you want? Who do you help? And why should people care? Your content should answer these questions quickly. Next is consistency. Your visuals and your messaging should be recognizable across all platforms. Number 3, value. People follow and buy from brands that they can trust, like, know, feel like they can relate to. And you should be at least one of those things. You should make them feel like you understand them. They should be able to look at your brand, look at your content, look at what you sell, and say, oh, they get me. They get me. They want to feel understood. They want help. And if you can do that, if you can be like right here with them, like with your customers and clients, money, sales coming in. Now, let's talk about the content every business owner and content creator needs. First, you're going to need some high quality visuals. This includes professional brand photos, polished graphics, and on-brand video content. No grainy, low-res nonsense. Go get it done professionally. Number 2, engaging captions and copy. Your words should connect with your audience, whether it's an IG post, an email, or your website. Then there's video content. Video builds trust fast, whether it's Reels, YouTube, TikTok, or even stories. Just get on camera. Next, educational or value-based posts. This could be tips, behind the scenes, or industry advice that helps your audience. Then there's community-driven content. And this is content that sparks conversations and engagement, like polls, questions, or relatable posts. Number 4, DIY versus hiring a pro. What's worth it? Listen, I get it. Sometimes you're going to be the photographer, the graphic designer, the videographer, everything, the social media manager, all in one. And that's okay. You wear all the hats, but it's only okay to a certain extent. At some point, you're going to have to outsource and hire out to get some help. Here's when DIY works. When you're doing social media posts, personal brand videos, behind the scenes content, and things of that nature. And these are the appropriate times to hire a professional. When you're getting website visuals, when you're doing marketing collateral, and things like mailers, brand photo shoots, video ads, anything client facing. Bad content is expensive. Why? Because it's costing you business. If your content looks unprofessional, people assume your brand is too. So you might as well spend the money to look good. Because in this sense, when you look good, you make money. Number 5, how to create high quality content that represents your brand. Let's talk about creating content now. So if you're creating your own content, here's how to make sure it actually works. Branding. There's the front-facing branding, and then there's the branding behind the scenes, your story, the things you stand for. So let's get into how to create that high-quality content that actually works. This is my definition of a brand. Repetition is your reputation, and your reputation is pretty much your brand. The most successful brands are consistent in everything they do. So much so that you and I and so many other people can recognize an Apple or Nike commercial before they even show the logo. To create a powerful brand, yes, you need a consistent color palette, the fonts, the design, the logo, the style. But branding is so much more than that. Branding is also about your likes, your dislikes, what you stand for and what you don't stand for, who your business serves and who you don't serve, who your business helps and who your business does not help. Branding is also about the story you're telling. It's your why. Think about it this way. You can recognize who your mom, your dad, or your siblings are. If you go into a store, you have the ability to say, "Oh, mom would love this," or "That's not really daddy's style." You know what they sound like, what quirky things they do, what they like and dislike. You get the picture? If they called you on the phone, I think you'll be able to tell whether it's someone else or it's actually them. Now, if you can get your brand/business to be just as recognizable and familiar to your audience as those examples I just listed, you're doing all the right things. But don't be discouraged if it takes time, because branding is all about reputation, and your reputation will take time. Outside of branding, the next thing to work on are your 3 to 5 content pillars that you'll focus on. There's also planning, batching, repurposing your content. I want to go more in depth on this, but I already go in depth about these things in my ebook, Content Done Right, which is linked in the description below. I created it specifically with the business owner in mind, because I'm often hired to create the content and the graphics and the photography, all the things to make the business look amazing. But once delivered, I've noticed that the business owner locally doesn't know how to properly move forward in a way that brings them more sales and more visibility with the content that they basically hired me for. So yeah, I created Content Done Right because the goal is to make sure your content is doing the heavy lifting for you even when you're not online. All right, so if your content has been feeling all over the place, I hope this video has helped you with cleaning it all up. And when your content is intentional, professional, and valuable, you don't have to chase clients. Your brand and your content starts to attract them for you. I'll see you in the next video.